Hey, JJ here, and this is the Lens of Truth podcast, where we play through the oldies and modern goldies to give you our opinion. With nearly 100 years of gaming between all of us, we see how well these gems hold up in our eyes. With me today, we have...
This is ATI.
And this is Zerovii.
And today, we're playing a special one. We got a little bit of a dual feature. We got Nights into Dreams, which came out on the Sega Saturn, I believe in 1996, if I'm correct, and then Christmas Nights, which is not quite a game, not quite a demo. Not sure how you could classify Christmas Nights, but
a little bit of an addendum, a little bit of a Christmas. Came free, bundled in with some magazine subscriptions, I believe.
Yep, I remember the day I got it.
It's like a reskinned level 1 of the main game. It has a bunch of bonus goodies, all this good stuff. We'll get to it.
DLC, but, honestly. The DLC before DLC.
DLC.
Yeah. So, how did we? Again, this is a game that I recommended. It's I don't know if I recommended it, but it's close to my heart. I grew up with it. It's truly one of my favorite games. Pieces of media in general. Which is weird to say considering it's just like, I don't know, it's not super long, it's not super deep, it's not super like well known outside of like certain gamer communities, but
what it is super at is it has a super identity. It is just super fantastical. So I think this came up because I knew this was always a like foundational part of you and your taste and everything. As long as I've known you, this has kind of been like you've used the Knight's avatar in random places. It's been like one of those foundational things where, oh yeah, it's one of those games I grew up with, and like I hear it mentioned. For me, I never had a Saturn. I never played the game. It was one of those like magazine mystery games, so it became like one of those like not real games. You just kind of imagine what it must play like. It's like you've never had it in front of you. It's just that I see all these like weird clay graphics and like, what, the character's jumping around? I thought you were flying. What is this game about?
Unfairly,
this is really fun to jump into.
Yeah, unfairly compared to Sonic. I feel like throughout the era, Yuji Naka created it. It's his probably second greatest baby. They really tried to push Knights during the Saturn era. It came with an analog, basically a pre-Dreamcast controller. Like a life system, free Sonic Adventure. Like we'll get all into all that, but there's a lot in this game, even though it doesn't seem like it on the surface. Like if you play it casually, it's maybe a 20-minute game. Half hour, give or take. You can do both stories. There's only 3 levels between the two characters, and then the final level, which is the same between the two. So it's kind of just like, again, it doesn't seem like this, like, why would it be your top piece of media, JJ, kind of thing? Because it does seem on the surface, kind of just not as deep. But then
you look at the raw numbers. It's like the raw number of stages. Like, oh, I play 3 stages with A ranks and then I get the last level. What do you mean? Like, that's what it looks like on the surface. Obviously, there's 2 characters, there's 2 sets of levels, so it's like that's immediately invalidated. But even if you look at it that way, it's like 8 stages total. But
not that long.
We'll get into that.
Yeah, well, we can get into the gameplay. We'll start with the basic gameplay, because it's a unique spin on, I don't know, what kind of genre, like on rail shooter.
Let's start with the initial impressions of like. So you had the advantage of playing this game when you were a wee little one. I only played it now. Zero, was this your first time playing it too?
I played it once in the past when it came out on Steam and I bought it. But I didn't really quite get the hook yet. I was just like, oh, this seems neat. And I got motion sick, and I decided to come back to it later, and I never did until this episode. And then I got motion sick a second time, so I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong with this game, but that's neither here nor there. I do ever watch a lot of videos on it since then.
And you've watched me play it, I'm sure. Like,
I watched your stream
half a dozen times because I'm always playing it.
You point out a lot of the minute details of the game that I did not even realize were there. Because to me, like, I didn't see like the instruction manual or anything. I was like, oh, it's just
Yeah.
a game you play as like the weird clown
If
man
you
and you
go
fly around
into
and
this,
get points.
if you go into this without reading the instruction manual, without having any verbiage to describe what you're seeing on screen, it's literally just like fumbling through a dream. Good luck maybe finding out things through the icons. The main goal of each level is you collect a bunch of these blue orbs. You get enough of them, you get to this little goalpost, and then once you get your orbs to the goalpost, you get to complete your lap of the stage. Each stage you pick is broken into 4 distinct styles of laps. Laps are hard to describe because they're not quite like a typical racing game. You do go around the map multiple times, but you go around as many times as it takes for you to collect these orbs, cash them in, and then you get your bonus lap where you can collect as many orbs as you want until this timer runs down and out. And you rack up as many as you can. You get to that goalpost, and when you think you got a safe run, then you get the points rolling up. It's one of those things. It's not really explained to you. Like maybe in the manual, I think it might say like, "Oh, in
Not
the
even
bonus
that
round."
much. Not
I don't
even.
even know. It might have like a sentence, but it's one of those things like you kind of like intuit, you play around with, you like fumble through stages. Um, you there's so much discovery every step of the way, and like, oh, that's how this game works. That's how it works. Oh, you have to do laps. Oh, you have to turn in these blue orbs because it's like you start the game and you're just walking around as one of the kid characters, and it's like
Then you get
you
jumped.
immediately get attacked by all these like flying things. You don't know what the hell they are. It's like 2 seconds of walking around. You get control of your character.
Yeah,
They
you
come
take
and
two
murk you.
steps and they just jump you and take your orbs, which is
Yeah,
basically, they're representations of like courage and they're all good qualities that like, bravery, stuff like that. And they take them and spread them throughout the stage. And, you have one left. And that's, I think, like, I don't know if it represents hope, like, but it represents something like deep within you that like
yeah. There
nobody
was
can
like
take
one
away.
emotion
Yeah.
that was like, oh, this is the most important one, and it gives you all of the.
Like,
Let me see. I have the instruction manual
yeah,
here.
no
I was gonna say,
nightmare
what
can
It
take
was
it.
the
bravery.
instructions.
Oh, was it
The
bravery?
5th and rarest of the dream
Yeah.
energies was bravery, red in
Ah,
color. It's the
there you
only type of
go.
energy that wise man and his henchmen cannot steal.
There you go. Yeah. And when you first play the game, uh, you kind of just fumble through it. You're never going to really get a high score at first, and you could just kind of breeze through the game collecting orbs. You might run out of the time on like Stick Canyon or some like long stage. But overall, it's kind of like, you just fly around and you take your time. And then once you finish the game, you're like, oh, was that it? But then on the stage select, you do see that score system, whether it's a D, E, F, maybe you got a C the first time. But then you wonder, like, huh, how do I, like, really start maximizing this? And that's when you start playing, like, the first levels of whether it's Claris, which is the girl, or Elliot. He's got his Jinko shorts. And you can pick between the two. And you kind of just slowly explore and get a knack for the game as you play through. You're like, oh, well, I guess if I do this, I can rack up points. And you really do kind of just slowly learn the game as you repeat playthroughs of each stage. And it kind of develops into its own little thing because there's just so much like layers within the stage. You can get links by collecting multiple items and not breaking the combo. You can do a power loop to gather a bunch of stuff. You could even do a power loop to collect items that are off the axis, like, because you're on a pathway for each route. There's all these things you can kind of like discover and maximize and play around. And that's where like a lot, like not even all of the depth, but a lot of the depth comes into play. And it starts feeling like a deeper game. You start getting like up, paths down in your head. You start really maximizing the points, and then before you know it, you're like, "Ooh, I got an A on the first stage. Let me try it on like the other ones." But the other ones are longer
So
stages.
abstract getting there. It's
Yeah,
like to even get to that point, like It took me maybe, I don't know, a few stage clears, a few hours, I don't know the time frame to even realize that, to make me go like, oh yeah, this is like a racing game. Okay.
Mm.
Like
Yeah,
it
there's
was
no
so
what.
abstract and I'm trying to like absorb all the shit. Like, what the fuck are these orbs? And like then I opened the instruction manual and it's like, oh, they're in my emotions. Cool. Why they take them? How do I get that? What does that do? What does it mean that they're taken from me? And it's like, okay, that's your reward for like each of the laps that you clear. And then you beat the boss and you get all your orbs back. Okay, cool. But it's like all these little points of discovery are so like diegetic and natural feeling in the game that it comes with exploration, and like the controls are so simple. You control with, like you said, with the D-pad or control stick. You get one button to boost. It's like the turbo go button on like, does Kirby Air Ride have the go button, or is that just the brake button? It's like that. You have your one button, and then you
Like
have like your
Sonic, your
trick
spin
buttons
dash or
too.
jump too, which is a
Yeah, it's
Yuji
got a
Naka
lot of
staple. He
Sonic
loves his
DNA
one
in
button
here.
games. He really does.
Yeah, like that DNA is all over here. Like you said, it's like not fair to compare this to Sonic earlier. I mean, like that dash is the same sound as the spin
Yeah.
dash in Sonic
What
Adventure.
genre would we call this game though? Like now that I'm thinking about it, like
Mm,
it's not a
Racing Adventure.
it's like not it's not a platformer. It's on rails, but you're not shooting. You are racing, but then you're
I want
flying
to call
through
it a.
loops.
So we made the distinction with our like adventure and point and click visual novel game stuff like that. The adventure modifier to genres kind of works here for racing, does it not? Like you can go off the beaten path. You can go. We didn't say this. You can go backwards as much as you want if you pass the orb that you're checking like your little blue chips into, and like you don't have enough, and you fly past it. You collect like three just a little bit ahead. You can turn around, go right back to that orb. Nothing's stopping you from like saying you're going in reverse. There's no Lakitu with a sign going wrong
Mhm.
way,
Yeah.
reverse. No one yelling at you, nobody fishing you with a fishing hook telling you get on the right path. You can. This game has so much just freedom and just like, you know what? It's your dream. Go explore it. Do whatever you want.
Yeah, and if you
When
do,
you,
no,
yeah,
go
go
on.
on, go on.
I was gonna say, and if
Yeah,
you do let the timer run out, that opens up. Then it becomes a 3D platformer.
yeah. I
You
was
know,
just gonna say that exact thing actually. So go
yeah, no,
ahead.
it's just again, this is like another level of depth where you're timed on each route, and if you let the timer run out, then your knight's body flies off you, and you become the child again, and you're just in this beautiful, might I add, because everyone's Sega Saturn can't do like 3D effects that great or whatever. These are beautiful, surreal, detailed, like for the time, like 3D
Fluid
worlds.
motion. You can do like triple,
Yeah,
quadruple
girl's
jumps.
got a better jump than Mario in Mario 64. I'm
For
gonna just
real.
say that. Like, but
Real.
Better height.
you get to explore like in a 3 dimension. 'Cause in Knights, like when you're flying as Knights, you're only in a 2D plane. Like you're just going on the track, and while you
It like
do,
does every trick in the book to fool you,
yeah,
make it think it's
exactly.
3D. It's like you go on this axis and everything is flying around you. It looks stunning. You go around this map that's constantly rotating, but like you're on this fixed route line of just like you're on a racing track, but you can go up and down as much as you want. And it's so freeform. It feels so good.
Yeah, so you get that a whole other aspect too, where it's like, you are being chased by an alarm clock, which can end your run when you're the kids. But at the same time, it's not too hard to avoid, and it still
Mm.
just lets you explore and see, what's going behind,
Yeah, there's
the
no time
scenes.
limit when you're exploring like that, other than the time clock that's chasing you. But like you said, you can kind of outrun him. It's like the first time this happened to me, I was like, "What?" The perspective changed,
Mhm.
and like you get to explore. How do I get back to flying? What am I doing? Like my orb's scattered. But
Yeah,
it was so
Sonic
scary.
rings. Your orbs come out of
Yeah,
you like the Sonic
your
rings.
sonic ring scatter.
It's just beautiful. Like there's so many layers to this onion, and again, on the surface, you're just like whatever, quick little romp through the game. But then as you play through it, and you start seeing all these other like areas of interest and ideas, and each stage kind of has like its own theme. And then I hate using the word gimmick because people have a negative connotation with it, but it
They
there's certain
totally do,
gimmicks.
and like yeah, and like there's enemies throughout the stage. I didn't even like recognize the enemies like cognizantly until a few loops through because I was so busy like absorbing the stage I didn't realize what they were. you know. But yeah, the stages are so different. You got like the first stage for the girl is totally different from the guy. I shouldn't say girl and guy. It's Clarice and Elliot. I'm sorry.
You're good. You're good. But yeah, you could turn into a
Clarice's stage is
sleigh
a bit like
ride.
introductory, but then Elliot is like crazy and go through all these like water bubbles and like it's insane just the routes that go through these stages and just
And they're
there's
all
so much to
beautifully
explore.
surreal, like Soft Museum and like Stick Canyon. And
Yeah,
they're
Soft
just so
Museum suddenly
cool.
like the ground like turns soft and when you bounce off of it, your character like turns into like a little balloon and like
Yeah,
bounces up off of it. And
or
then
even when
like there's
Knights
another enemy that like
presses.
shrinks you or
Knights presses into the walls and it like indents in it. Like it, this game has a
yeah,
weight to it too. There's this weight where like water will from a waterfall will hit Knights and you'll drop down. Like there's so
air will push
much.
you up.
Yeah, there's just so much. Again, so much layers to this onion that once you realize what's going on, you're like, whoa, this is a deep game. Like, and there's way more to it than just like these, 8 stages if you want to combine the two, whatever. But once you start actually getting into further things, there's this whole A life system. Like, so say you master the game, say you finish the game, you get all the A ranks, you get hit with that beautiful, Dream Dream song, which is again, at the time, this amazingly recorded, like, song that's super heartfelt and it's cheesy, but, as a little kid, as a 9-year-old, I would finish the game, I would just, like, cry. Like,
It's catchy. It's the leitmotif of the entire game. It's like something that's there with you the entire time. It's like you hear these notes that do 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 the entire time
yeah,
you
in
play the
so many
game, and it
different
comes
ways.
back, and it's like it just builds so many images in your head. This game is a masterclass in showing and not telling. There's almost no text explaining any of
No,
this shit. Like
none.
going
Even
back
the
to that,
FMVs,
you
which are
have to build this
beautiful.
up.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the FMVs too. There's no and they're cool too. Like the whole theme of this game is these kids are just a little down and out. One Elliot doesn't quite make the basketball team. Clarice quite can't get over her stage fright, and these things seep into their
yeah, she wants to
dreams.
sing and like she runs off of stage during the performance and she's like, I can't do it. And what like Knights symbolizes is like again these emotions that allow you to conquer these fears and like you have to collect them to be brave, to be wise, to have hope, to be
And
whatever, to be, you know.
and as a 9-year-old kid trying to find his way in life. I just moved to Florida. I was born and lived in the Northeast of New York, and going down into Florida, I felt very out of place. Never did I quite feel that way, ever, even in my life, like past, present, future. It was just in that time period of like living in Florida. I just felt, I don't know, I just didn't feel right. I didn't feel like I was where I should be. And seeing the story of these kids kind of get over their fears and grow, like genuinely it helped me grow. And I know that sounds cheesy, I know that's whatever, but like this game instilled something a little bit deeper in me. And I would even, dreams, we'll get a little bit into my backstory too. Dreams are super important to me ever since I was a child, or super early on. Dreams were just very important, super vivid, lucid dreams, maybe even prophetic in some ways. We won't get into that. But they were always very, very special to me. I would wake up and I would like think of the dream all day, and that energy would carry me. Nightmares, I didn't mind having nightmares because they were like my own horror movies, and I felt like you just
You're
feel
getting a personal ticket.
yeah, and
Front
you
row.
just feel something when you wake up, and it's so different. It's like you really went to another world. I feel bad for people that don't have in-depth dreams.
No, and there's so many times in those dreams, it's like you don't have the verbal description, and you just have to go by the feel, the imagery, and like so
The
much of that carries
realism.
over here.
Hmm.
Yeah, the realism. Just like what does this link to? What does this symbolize? What emotion is this? What feeling is that? How does this? It's so many little connecting pieces, and like going back to these kids, like you help them. Clarice, you help her get her courage, and she ends up singing in front of everyone. Elliot fucking gets his like Mike Nike
Yeah,
shoes on. He
man,
dunks on everyone.
he dunked
He
hard.
gets his Space Jam dunk on and goes Monstars on them, like straight up. He jumps over everyone's heads. It's crazy.
And it's beautiful too. Like these two, and again, I want to get into a little bit more into my dreams. I remember having a dream around that time where like I was just like I kept having this recurring dream where I was in love with this person, and I would dream like about them, and we would like mix and mingle in the dreams, and but like I never met them, and it's similar in the story of Knights where Clarice and Elliot don't know each other in real life, but in the dream world, they team up at the very end to take on Wizeman, who's the big baddie. And then once they wake up and live in the real world, they still don't know each other until the very end, where Elliot dunks on the guys, and if he pops into the audition of Claire's, and he sees her singing, and like he gets that like face where he's like, oh, this is like the girl I like teamed up with to get my courage back. It just hits so hard. It's just like it's just a beautiful story, and there's not a drop of text. There's not a single voice line. Well, there's a little
It doesn't
like
need to tell you how to feel.
yeah, you just gather it all from like inside, and there's a lot of Jungian dream like philosophy and psychology embedded in this game. Like Wise Man is like a Jungian concept. The Great Mother was another Jungian concept, and that was supposed to be in the sequel, in the Wii version. Like, there's so much depth in this game that you can like dive into if you have a education in Jungian psychology and dream symbolism. It's just it's beautiful.
Yeah, once you start looking at the manual and like seeing the names for things too, and you can start like making those connections and being like, okay, well, this is where they drew that idea from.
Yeah, you could pop up the wiki, like the Knights wiki, like type Jungian psychology Knights in the Dream, and one of the wikis has this like amazing breakdown of like each stage has its own little like caption at the bottom. Like it'll say like Spring Valley, I can't remember what that one said, but it's like the awakening, something like that. And each stage has that little cat. And again, those are Jungian concepts, and it's just like, ooh, like again, wow, this game seems pretty shallow on the surface. But then as you dig way more deeper into it, you're just like, oh wait, there is a lot in here. And
yeah, like when you can't really like comprehend something, or you don't get the full picture or something, it just seems kind of like nonsense. Like you look at those subtitles for the stages, you're like, oh, that's just a silly haha Japanese nonsense like people did back in the day, like that was the main thing. Like, oh, this doesn't make sense. Oh, there's no point thinking about it. Like that's kind of the
it's like if you're not an artist. What was that?
There's just like the popular mindset to just be like, oh, well, it's just random crap.
Gotcha. Yeah, no, I was gonna say like, say you're not well educated on drawing, and you see this amazing picture. You can look at the picture and be like, oh, that's like a face, okay. But if you're like intimate with the world of drawing, or you really sit there and study it and take the time to really look at it, you start seeing like line techniques. You start seeing the intricate details. You start gathering information where you can like see this depth. Because at first you're like, it's just a face. What? I see these all the time. But then you really take the time to look at it or learn about it, and you're like, whoa, this guy spent like 700 hours just doing the nose. But like you wouldn't know that just from like a surface look if you just didn't have that back in context or like understanding.
Yeah.
And I do liken that this game to that, because again, you just look at it and you're like, oh, it's a silly Sonic clone, weird colorful Japanese stuff. But then you're just like, wait, there's a score attack? Wait, there's this whole psychology like embedded into it? Wait, there's an A-life system? Which I think we could get into a little bit now, which is just still blows my mind to this day. Because it's the precursor to the Chow Garden, which is, the artificial life system. So whoever's played Sonic Adventure 1 and 2 know, or even the GBA game, Sonic Advance or whatever, they know that there's this A life system with the Chow. You know, you mix your animals onto your Chow, you can get happiness levels, you can race them, you could fight them, you could fuck them, you do whatever you want. And this game has this, like, the blueprints of that within it. In each level, there's these eggs and there's these nighttopian creatures, which were apparently modeled after coneheads, but they fly around through the game and fly around through the stages, and they're just these little cheeky guys, and you're like, oh, they're cute, mascot. What again? You look at it on the surface, and you're like, oh, that's just a mascot. Like it's
It's
just
legit. I just thought it was like point fodder. Like, okay, these are just the enemies you're meant to like crash into to like keep your chains going, something like that. Okay, like there's a lot of stuff filling these stages. Whatever. There's a lot to absorb. I'm not gonna think about it. That was my mindset. Then you were like, hey, you heard about this real shit. You want to dig deep? You want to
go
stare into the abyss, buddy?
pretty much. It really does feel like the abyss because we didn't know anything about the A Life system until Knights came out on Steam and people started data mining it. Like, people had ideas about it during the Sega Saturn era, and there were, masters that kind of had their knowledge, but it all felt like very esoteric. Like, no one was
There was this
100%
one
sure.
menu on the Christmas Nights game. You could unlock presents by doing like your runs of the maps that it gives you, and after your run, it gives you like you based on your grade, you get a certain amount of like attempts to do this flip match game, and if you match 2 tiles, then you get to unlock a little bonus thing. Some of those bonus things are like extra art. One of them, it shows you your little A lifer, and it's like it's the chart that they put into the remastered edition that you were checking and everything, but it's like it was just this
Owl
screen.
Garden.
There was no information. It's just like, okay, here's a bunch of just random models of guys. Sure, okay. It's like it doesn't tell you what to do with the information or anything.
Yeah, it's like, for lack of a better like explanation of it, it's like, think of it as like the other part of the Chow Garden. Like, it's where you get your information. Like, you go into the Chow Garden and you hold your Chow, and it shows you their happiness, their strength, their stamina. Well, in this game, when you go into each stage and you're hatching eggs and flying through the Nighttopians, you have no context, no idea what's going on. You don't know how many are in a stage. You don't know how happy they are. You don't know if they were accidentally breeding with the.
I think another way to contextualize it outside of if people haven't messed around with chows, imagine having 30 separate Tamagotchis all together, all with like mismatched limbs and heads and torso pieces. You don't know why they're mixed matched. You don't know why one has dragon arms and one doesn't. You don't know why like some are happy and some are sad, but like some of them are shitting themselves. Some of them are like begging for food.
Blowing bubbles. Like,
You
they're
don't know
singing.
what it means. You're just looking at him like, all right, you go, buddies.
Yeah, and for all it's worth, like, you just think that's random. Again, you just think it's like a random mascot NPC character because there's no information. But then as you slowly like dig into it and start reading about it, and then you use that the Christmas Nights like Chow Garden information
As your
like,
little decoder ring.
yeah,
It's
pretty
insane.
much. These are separate games. So say I'm trying to breed Nighttopians on, Splash Valley or whatever in the main game. Let's say I do a few runs of it. The only way I know how happy they are, or how many are in a stage, or how many eggs are in the area, or whatever, other than like searching, I have to take the game out, put Christmas Nights in, load that up, open up the present like section, click on that, and then that shows me the information window of, oh, this Chow is happy. You have 13 Chows in here. The Meepians, Meepians are crossbreeds of like when you hit an enemy into a happy Nighttopian, they drop an egg, and that egg will be like a random, again, like kind of like the Chow, like ATI said, he's got dragon arms. This one has a ram head. This one is completely just all 4 parts of its body are the claws enemy. Like, it's all random. It's all dice rolls. You have no context, and the only way to check that is by swapping games over and over and over. And
And we have to put this into time context as well. This is like information that has been gathered over like 18 years or something. You
just
know,
about.
like
Yeah, and I
it's
would
one
say
of
a
those.
lot of it's like the more recent times, as we don't have to try and data mine it through the Saturn of all things.
Yeah, because we got that remaster is like the only reason we got this information. This is straight up like looking for Mew under the truck. It's like all of the most mysterious bullshit like
It's
conditions that
so
had no guidance.
esoteric. Even to this
And you have
day.
to raise yeah. So on the other day, you actually went through with
Yeah,
this,
I
and
spent
you were like,
4
you know what,
days.
I'm gonna do it.
So I basically was like, you know what? I grew up with this game. I've gotten all A ranks. I've played around in every kind of way. But there's this fabled King Nighttopian. So if you do everything right, if all your Nighttopians are happy, if they all have I'm not going to get into the specifics because that would just confuse people. But if you have specific body parts between your Nighttopians, like one has a dragon arm and the other has the ram head, and it's all very specific. If all those cards lay correctly, there's a chance. It's not even a guarantee. Again, that it's another dice roll. It's dice roll on top of dice roll on top of dice roll in a game where you don't have complete freedom because you're on a certain axis and they live in the 3D space of the world. You have to get the stars to align, and then one of them pops out an egg, and it's a King Nighttopian. And this thing has eluded me for just about 16, 17, 18 years, ever since I like heard glimpses of it. And the whole, like, that's the whole end game of the A life system. So to get that King Nighttopian is basically you finishing, the Nighttopian breeding. And what happens is you get this King Nighttopian, and he is like stronger than the other Nighttopians. He'll fight off the enemies. He'll do all kinds of stuff. But the whole thing is, every time you finish the stage, he starts building a castle. So that you keep replaying the stage and you keep finishing the stage, and he slowly builds his castle. And once that castle is finished, it's this permanent fixture within the stage, and it just kind of like is cool. It's just a fun little gaming achievement. You don't unlock anything crazy. You don't unlock Sonic
No
1.
achievement
Yeah.
points. Nope,
It's not even an
nothing. You
achievement.
get a castle.
Like
You
on
don't
the
get to
Steam.
interact with it. You get to look at the castle.
Yeah. But it's so cool because it's this accumulate, like it's like all your work accumulates into this little castle that shows up in the background that you can kind of
It's
fly
like you
by.
got the Easter egg. Like you got Peekaboo. Here
Yeah,
he is.
exactly. And it's so obscure that in the Steam achievement list, it's not even part of the achievements. Like usually achievements, it's like it forces you to like look at every nook and cranny of the game. At
It's like
least,
the devs didn't even know. They're
yeah,
like, wait, that's in there?
yeah,
Really?
they're like, oh, that's not real. That doesn't exist.
That's a hoax.
And yeah, so it's so obscure. And even to this day, you have people just questioning the methods, questioning how to do it. And it just, I love a good mystery. I love grinding.
And I think that the castle might be a different model depending on the stage as well. I want to say, because I think that video you linked me about it had him unlock it on like Soft Museum, I want to say, something like that. And it looked different than the one you had on the Christmas
I
stage.
did check.
So
I think his just wasn't finished. So I did check to see
that
if
was
any
it.
of it was
Okay.
different. It's pretty much the same. And even the castle itself, like this might be reaching for straws, but like Sega loves to reference itself. I truly feel like the castle is actually referencing like 3 old Sega IPs. Because, Knights was the new thing at the time. It was like the new era, the new gen, Sega Saturn.
Yeah.
And I think in that castle, they were referencing themselves, where if you look at one part of the castle, and I'll put that on the screen so you could check it out. One part of the castle looks like Fantasy Star 1. Like, I
Boy,
don't
does it.
like the building. I've seen that like oblong shaped building enough to be like, that kind of looks a lot like Fantasy
Like
Star.
the color
Yeah,
combinations,
the
the
color,
shapes of the
100%.
building. It's like that's Aldol or whatever the planet is named.
Algol, yeah, 100.
Alcohol, yeah.
Algol, that's the one.
And then the other one looks like Sonic 1. It looks like Green Hill Zone. Like it just straight up looks like,
It's got like that brown
Mhm.
textured ground and then the green on top. It's like
Yeah.
it's not quite, but like you squint your eyes and it's totally there.
Yeah. And again, this is Knight's interpretation of it. So like who's to say,
Yeah.
it is or isn't. And then the other one, I get like Alex Kidd vibes, which
I
again,
wasn't sure on this one, but
yeah,
that
I get
totally makes
Alex
sense.
Kidd vibes. And these are like technically like three of Sega's like not as much Fantasy Star, but like I think they were trying to prime Knights to be like the next kind of not quite replace Sonic as a mascot, but like they were pushing it
This
hard.
this was
Yeah.
totally their attempt at making the evolution. The so much of like the concepts and DNA are here. Like you do your loop-de-loops. You go like I'm gonna list off basic things, but I promise you there is weight to these observations that I
Yeah.
made while playing that it feels very Sonic. Like the
Once
loop-de-loops,
he's
the
done.
speed, the rings, the fucking like some of the bosses, even like the round bosses are very robotic. I'm sorry, but I can't help but shaking that connection a little bit. But just like the dash boost and like the way you just progress fast and have these little sprungos through the stage to cheer you on, weird creatures, and like the energy is all there.
Yeah, what were you gonna add, Zero?
Yeah. So, in mentioning that, Knights was meant to be like kind of a second IP to Sonic. Like Sonic's gonna be like more proper 3D game world exploration game, despite being about going fast on the 2D plane.
Yeah, this would be like on the
Knights-
rails, huh?
Knights was about like the on rails 2D score attack, mastery over your dreams, pretty much, and like just bettering your score and going along and just enjoying the sights of the spectacle. So Intro was never meant to like replace Sonic. I think that's also why Yuji Naka got mad when they wanted to reuse the engine for parts of Sonic Extreme later.
Yeah,
Mm.
and you can definitely see that, like in whatever like beta footage, demo footage, whatever exists of Sonic Extreme screenshots, it for sure looks like it's the Knights engine, and it's not meant to be. You're not meant to go fast on the ground in that game because apparently Sonic Extreme was making people go insane or whatever. Like, but that was also development cycle hell and just all kinds of other
Yeah.
issues.
That's a weird time period for development in general.
Yeah, it was a scary time. Like, it was new technology. They were all trying to one up each other, but
And a bet on the new thing.
yeah, the costs were so high.
But just like
Yeah,
the
it was also rough.
esotericness of
Oh,
that,
hold on,
like
Zero.
the
What you got, Zero?
I
Go on,
said,
yeah,
yeah, it
go
was
ahead.
all rough, but I was just gonna segue, but I'll wait till the point's over. So keep going, ATI.
No,
I'll mention it
please
later.
go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was gonna say, my exposure to Knights itself, since we're talking about Sonic and everything, and since you mentioned Sonic Adventure Chow,
There we go.
in Casinopolis and Sonic Adventure, there was a Knights themed pinball board. That was my
So
exposure
good.
to this.
Oof.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
like, well, what the hell is this? What
Mhm.
the hell is
Yeah, it
Knights?
was
And why
so
am I flying
mysterious.
through this Spring Valley looking area? And I was like, what's with the orbs around Knights? Why is this guy emoting on me in the middle?
The music, like they
was
put love into
fantastical.
that pinball, and that's another thing. Like Knights, even just today, Knights was released for the newest Sonic racing game. Like Knights has a life in many other Sega games. Like as Zero said, it's in the adventure game with the pinball. It's in Shenmue. With,
Shenmue.
Yep,
Yeah, you get to draw a bunch of the characters out of the gachapon.
yep, you
I
collect.
think one of the Game Boy Advance games has the time attack mode or the score attack mode as a mini game somewhere.
Well, that's the. I'll get into that. That's PSO. So PSO
Oh,
also represents
that was
it.
PSO.
You,
Okay.
you get
One of
a
the music tracks.
Yeah, well, you get a
the main
CD.
theme.
I used to blast that. So I would play PSO at a LAN center with my friend on GameCube. Like we would play split screen, and if you get the CD Dreams in episode 2 or whatever, you can use it, and it changes the entire background music into the
For
vocal.
everybody too,
Yeah.
and not just your console. Everybody that's in your party gets to hear this music.
So I would just blast Dreams while I'm going through the caves or the ruins. And like at a certain point, I remember one of the workers was like, "Oh, Justin, Can you lower that? It was like 4 hours of just this song on repeat. It was
In the night, sweet delight.
and I made it loud. It was a Sunday. Not many people were there. I was just blasting it. But yeah, you can get a mag. For those not familiar with PSO, you get mag, which is basically a little companion that boosts your stats.
Your follower, your Tamagotchi, he
Yeah.
follows you around.
You feed them.
PSO episode after our Final Fantasy VII episode. Trust.
Right, dude. PSO. But yeah, you could get
break in case of emergency episode. Yeah.
But you get the heart of the peon, where you feed it to your mag, you do all these weird specific things, and then it becomes a nighttopian, and you have a nighttopian following you. And I was like, whoa! As a Knights kid that also played ESO on the ground floor, I was like, this is crazy. I can have a nighttopian follow me wherever I go while the Dreams music plays. And to top it all off, there's a quest. It was on the GameCube specifically, where you do certain quests or whatever. It was like a DLC quest, and then you complete it, and it lets you hook up a Game Boy Advance with no cartridge in it into the GBA connector into the GameCube. It downloads Knights into that little flash memory that the GBA had, and you can play just a little time attack, one stage thing, and it looked beautiful. It felt good. It was just like I could play a Knights game downloaded onto my Game Boy Advance from PSO. Like, that's insane. In 2003, like, it's just crazy. It's insane.
That's really one of the strengths of the Sega ecosystem. It feels like there's so many nice little sprinklings of like cameos and like respect for their series and like legacies that are like everything is kind of connected. Like Shenmue plays respect to Virtua Fighter and like every essence of the word. Like we talked about that enough. Like all these series connect themselves.
They all
and, like,
build
Knights
off of
pops
it.
up, like, yeah, and like Knights doesn't really have like a franchise following, but like it's still showing up. Like you said, Knights is a character in the new Sonic racing game. That character came out today in the end of 2025.
Yeah, 2025. The last Knights game we got was a sequel, Journey into Dreams on the Wii, which hardcore Knights fans were like scoffing it at the time, but I think there's enough nostalgia now where like the kids that played it when they were 8 are now like 28, and they're like, yo, Journey into Dreams, that game was like pivotal to my maturity, and they sing its praises, they give it its flowers. There's a British owl. It's a little like, it's whatever. It's not as like I don't know the word for it, but there's just extra to it that I guess people didn't like at the time. But I still think it's a beautiful sequel, and it gets more in depth with the garden with the Pyans and stuff. Like, it's just the Nighttopians. It's really cool.
It's a difficult balance for like to strike what's so appealing about this game. For me, it's like I really, really like esoteric dreamness of it. Like going back to my initial roots, I was always fond of that, like just like kind of out there, kind of unreal. Maybe Final Fantasy VII trained me to be into that with like Cloud dreaming about being Zack all the time and like all these visions of like whatever he's dreaming about. But
Nice
it's
FF7
like
reference.
Thank you. I had to work it in somehow. Yeah, but just that stuff aside, this plays like we barely talked about the gameplay. Like we touched on it, but it's like the way it feels. This is like right up there with F-Zero GX in my head. Are you all familiar with the little F-Zero GX?
Oh yeah, I did all the very hard modes. I did all the hard. I got all the endings with the characters that you got to do. I did it all. I love that game.
Yeah, that's a game where you have to route. You have to like edge the sides of boost pads and like
you have to
really
be intimate with the game.
Yeah, and like there's such a feel and understanding of the momentum and like the way you move. It's very familiar to how fast you go in this game and the lines you make. I feel a lot of times, and like when you do loops and having the items like chase you, so you get to have your score or your chain continue to go as you're flying. To like you want to maximize your chain as you fly through the rings and have the orbs collect as you go. The potential is so high to just max your score out. It's nuts. This is a gamer's game.
Yeah,
we didn't mention that like you can do your power loop and like I think you actually hurt your Utopians and Nighttopians when you do that.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah, that's
didn't
the
mention
fucked
that.
up part. So, with raising like that King Metopian and like all that rare stuff, you can do this attack in the game where if you make a loop de loop, like a closed
Like a
loop, it
full
makes like a
circle.
little. Yeah, it's like you can do different sized ones. That's like your main attack. It makes this like sparkly loop. Any enemy, NPC, anything caught in it will get attacked.
Yeah,
You can fucking kill your
that's just to the next
progress on
dimension.
these little guys are raising. You trying to raise these guys for hours? Too bad. You just knocked them out.
Yeah, there's just again going back to the layering of this game. On the surface, looks whatever. But then as you get into it, you're just like endless. Even in the last 4 days, as I was trying to get the King Nighttopian, there were little nuances that I was discovering. Like I didn't know in the Christmas night stages they build snowmen randomly. Like I didn't
There's
know
some
you could do certain crossbreeding thing. Like there's just so many little things, and it just
And that's what really sells up the dream angle. Like it's nights into dreams, and like it's just like you can have so many observations of, oh, there's this thing happening over here, and like you don't try to, if you don't try to like over analyze it too much, it's just so much your brain can pick up and just play within your head as you think about it later.
yeah. Oh, and getting back to even knights being represented by Sega to this day, like there was even an official vinyl record that was released maybe like 2 years ago. That so it's just like it's still living and breathing, and that kind of
Random merch drops.
yeah, pretty much. I think there was like a shirt. Oh, I do. I have a Knights shirt. I forgot I bought the Knights shirt off the Sega store. I gotta pull that bad boy out. There's just like even the music. Like this might be one of my favorite soundtracks. I might have this game. Like I was playing the game with the music off last night, and then when I was playing it again today to just play a few rounds. Whenever I play Smash Brothers or just like start up my stream, my default music is to just throw on the Knights music, like Gloom of the NHC or Suburban Museum, The Amazing Water, the Stick Canyon theme. My brain immediately, as I loaded up Knights, because I was like in gamer mode, like how I would be if I'm playing Tetris or Smash, I had the music muted and I instinctively almost loaded up the Knights playlist. So it's absurd to think about because you could just unmute the music and play the music, but like
It's so like dreamy Eurobeat, like clubby, like it's pumps you up. I can hear as soon as I turn the music off, like you said, I can turn the volume off on my TV and I will just hear it in my head. It's that powerful.
Yeah, Moko Sasaki and Fumi Kumatani and now Fumi Hataya, like they did all, and these are 10-minute tracks. Like if you get the perfect album, like with the CD or the vinyl, these are 10-minute songs. Like they get into, Jack Frost Tribe gets into like Christmas music. It starts doing the we're making a list, checking it twice. Like it starts doing that like motif within the song. Like again, the music is layered. Even on the Gate of Your Dreams, which is the song Gate of Your Dreams, when you're choosing a stage, there's a part where you can hear all these people in the background going like laughing or playing or whatever, and there's a part where you could faintly hear in the back someone going hello, hello, and that's Kevin from Home Alone. Like they used the sample from Home Alone.
Are you kidding me?
No, that's 100% confirmed, legit, real gamer stuff. Like
Unreal.
it's just there's just so much love into the game. It's just there's so many layers. I keep emphasizing that.
So it goes beyond just the design of it too, because it goes into intent of the design as well, which is very important. Like we said, there is so much just hope sprinkled here. That's something that like just is carried on in Yuji Naka almost. Like this game is like Balan Wonderworld propaganda.
Yeah.
It's making me look at that game and be like,
That's why I
there's something
enjoy
there.
it. Like obviously the game is a wreck performance wise and
But
stuff.
like the spirit of the man is there. Like he's got his hopes and he just wants the farmer to dance and like not have to be in debt. Like that's all he wants out of the world. He wants everyone to get together, help this poor farmer.
I mean, even Sonic the Japanese box arts of Sonic, they have little inspirational quotes on it where it's like, I think Sonic 2 is my background screen for when my stream is not on, and I'm zoomed in on the quote, and it's basically like, don't forget what you can do today in your best way. Like, it's just super, like, cheesy, like, inspiration.
But look at how many kids that reached too, and like
Yeah,
that
no,
that cheesiness resonates.
it's like you were saying, like it's a sign of hope. And in a time where there's so much despair everywhere, it's so easy to spread negativity. It's so easy to spread despair. But like these games are just genuine beacons of hope. Like I said, this game got me through like a weird time in my life as a weird little kid. Sonic game, like Sonic speaks to an entire generation and they become Sonic kids. Like it changes their DNA. Like you can look at
Yeah,
a kid and be like, "Oh, that's a Sonic kid." Like the way they carry themselves, the way they view the world, and
it's legit an energy and like
yeah,
a
it's
like
consistent
perspective that you
across
start to
all
take
these
on. For
people.
sure.
Like it obviously changed all of them to a frequency to act and carry themselves all in a similar way. And I think Balin, whatever you want to call it, carries similar
Ballin'.
Mr. Ballin carries similar sentiments where it's just like it's trying to get you out of the despair. Yes, the design is a little weird. Yes, the performance isn't great,
But the
but
intent, the heart is
yeah,
so overwhelming. Oh my
and
god.
people
You just
knocked
forgot to
it.
bring like any
Yeah,
gameplay.
like people knocked it for it's a one button game. Brother, Sonic is a
So is
one button
Knights, so is
game.
Sonic. Yeah,
So is
for
Sonic.
real.
Like, you could say what you want, but like I think it's a decent game in a time where, there's darkness. But, going back to Knights, we have there's that Christmas teaser that was in uh the magazines at the time, and
Oh my god.
it's
It's like
basically
overwhelming just with like
it's
generosity and
packed.
like care.
Like it's got a beautiful little message. Like it's got this Christmas theme to it. The music in that, there's
How much
oh
more giving can you get than a Christmas theme too, you
yeah,
know? It's
it's a
like, "Hey,
Christmas
here's a
present.
gift to you. Everything is happy here. There's just good vibes, good music. There's nothing scary. You defeat the nightmares, man. Come take my hand. Let's defeat those nightmares."
Yeah, it gives you a little story, a voice acted story, by the way, which
Mm.
there was not a single
Yes,
voice
yes, yes.
acting in the original, but they had this whole presentation about like the Christmas spirit is missing and they
It's like
must
classic
find
animated
it.
stills.
Yeah, it's got like Dickens in it. Like it has this. There's the candle lights, the gloominess of the snow, but the cheeriness of the decorations, and like it's literally a teaser in a magazine, and it is jam packed with. If you play the Sega Saturn had an internal clock, so if you play it on New Year's Eve, it's different. If you play it like certain time periods of the year or certain time periods of the day, it's different. You can unlock Sonic and play as him, and there's just so much to it. Again, a simple teaser that came into a magazine for free, and yet there's so much depth in it. Like
There's like a time trial mode. There's a way to practice your laps, and it's like I was
karaoke.
playing that thing, and it's like, oh, that's how I can actually like practice and like learn the stage, and like and yeah, there's a karaoke mode. You can sing along to the song, and it shows you all the lyrics, and you can uh,
Pretty cool
sing
art.
away.
Yeah, even at the time, if you put the Sega Saturn CD of Nights into Dreams in your PC, they gave you these cool wallpapers, like beautiful high resolution wallpapers. Like
Mm.
there's just so much to these games, and I would love it. It was unfortunately delisted in that maybe what a year ago when Sega was like,
Yeah,
yeah, we're gonna
a
delist
real
a bunch of
shame.
stuff.
They made this whole remaster. It's super faithful. Like I am really a stickler for like originals, everything like that. Like the remaster of Knights that came out on Steam was like you get slightly more field of vision, but it's like the game is right on. It feels directly
And you
like
could
the
play the
original.
Sega
Like I
Saturn
cannot
version
complain. You can play
in
the
the
Saturn version
remaster.
right there.
Aspect
Yeah,
ratio, like they
it's right
said,
there,
hey,
and
you want to
you
play
can
the
swap
OG?
between the two.
Yeah,
Yeah,
seamlessly.
you get your scores on the new version. You can go play the old version. Your score is still right there. It's like it's a really impressive thing, but they delisted it. So
I'm
unfortunately, the
hoping,
only way to play is to
either
emulate the
own it,
original now.
or if you do own it on Steam, it will be in that library. But it's just like, if you're someone who stumbles upon Knights because, hey, Sonic Racing just came out. What's this Knights character? They seem cool.
How do I play that?
I like them. I want to play this game. Oh wait, it's delist. So hopefully, what's up, Zero?
That's literally like my arc of playing Sonic Adventure back in like what 97 and seeing that and be like, oh, I need a Sega Saturn. Oh, my feeling ain't buying that for me.
Yeah, right.
Maybe they'll re-release it. And I don't think I ever got the PS2 port either. So I was shit out of luck until like 2016.
Yeah, I think the PS2 version only came out in like Japan and Europe. I'm almost certain. So
Yeah,
we
I
didn't
remember
even
like
get
when they
that.
re-released, that was a big deal because like all the GameFAQs posters were like, "Oh yeah, obviously Knights is one of those god games. It's one of the Sega flagships. Like you hear about it all the time. It's like, okay, well I can't fucking play it. Nobody I know has a Saturn. Like what am I supposed to do?"
So I'm hoping and praying that Sega has something under their sleeve, like where they're going to release the remaster and then the Wii version together as this little dual package. Maybe there's so much like extra stuff through the years that's is involving Knights. Maybe they could like throw all that into the collection. That's wishful thinking. Maybe, maybe not. Who knows? They still love the series if they're representing it to this day. So I'm hoping.
But it's
Imagine,
also
like-
one of those things. I like it as just like this fossil you have to unearth and be like, "Oh, I have to discover all of this."
Imagine if like 2 days from now, like Christmas Eve, so
Yeah.
you just stealth just like an announcement for the Knights collection or some shit.
That's how
Oh.
it goes. We summoned it.
I'd buy it
It's
on
happened before.
Dude, hey, we just did it with the Racing Transformed. Wouldn't be the first
We're
time.
we're knocking on that dream door of Yuji Naka right now, waking him up from his dream world.
His
Telling him he's
jail
got
cell.
I was gonna say, it's gonna
Shake
pop up
his
like
jail
Ger-
cell.
it's gonna pop up on the video like Gerald Robotnik in Sonic Adventure 2.
We gotta bust
Just
him
announced
out.
Knights 3.
He's on the moon now. Oh man, he's in the Ark.
I'm sure it's obvious because I mean, Knights like itself doesn't have a lot of stuff to say except for like scores. But it's really funny to me that like Knights' whole game data for saving is 30 blocks and the A life system is 197.
Yeah,
There's so much to save.
Like they really love that A life system. If you play this game, you need to explore that.
yeah. For as little as it's explained, it's still incredibly fun to just, it's awkward and unintuitive because of so much nuance. But like,
But damn it, that's the charm.
Yeah.
How often do you get that kind of feel
yeah,
ever
take your
anywhere?
time.
Like honestly, the game's failure state is like letting you explore the map that you're like just flying on a rail on. Like that's honestly a really amazing and innovative way to do a failure state for a game. Like
Yeah, you can just
I can
recover
go-
and walk back.
I can just walk around and look at all this cool shit that I can't look at because I'm busy doing flips and stuff while flying around.
Yeah, oh my
And it's not like an
genre.
actual race. You don't like feel bad for getting like 8 out of 8th place. It's like, okay, well, my grade wasn't that great, but I can do another run. Why not?
Yeah, like how many games just flat out change the genre of it, like based on your failure state? Like this is like, oh, now I'm a 3D platformer. Like, oh, cool.
Yeah, like, cool. I can go look at that fucking car in the background that's just been like driving around randomly on like the third lap of the race.
Yeah, one of the achievements is to park it in the garage because it follows you, and there's a garage in the back. So you have
Oh
to
shit,
like,
is there?
yeah, you have to lead it into the
Yeah,
back
I
part.
just learned that tonight.
Yeah, which it's
Damn,
just so
that's
random.
crazy.
It's random. It's there. It's cool. It's beautiful.
Little touches.
Music is so moody in that stage, and it just sets the tone.
Anything that can reward someone for just being observant
For
and like not
playing.
even like trying to find the answer, but just letting it soak in and like, there's something, here's something over here. It's like just constantly a treat to the senses. Stages, we didn't even talk about how different, like you mentioned this gimmicks, but like the perspective changes on some of the stages. Like suddenly you're going top down. It's like, what the fuck? And then
Mhm.
suddenly
Oh, yeah,
it's flying behind you. You're underwater. Like, oh
That's
my
the story
God,
it
the
is,
level
dude.
just blew my mind. My hands were sweating during this
Mhm.
game. It was insane.
Also, like hilariously going back, it turns out I did get that garage achievement.
Oh, okay.
I don't know how I did that. I got it by dumb luck apparently. I was just like looking at
You
the
know
car in
what
the background. I was like,
date
that's
you
cool.
got it?
And
Just
I guess it
spoofing around.
followed me. Yeah, when I was playing it earlier.
Oh, you got. Okay.
I saw the achievement part, but I didn't know what I actually did. I was like, oh, that's something. I
That's
just looked,
pretty
I was
Look at
like,
this
oh,
gamer.
that was the car achievement.
Look at our strong gamer over here. I didn't
That
do
was
that
Just
unlocked
until
that
dreaming and
later.
feeling the vibes. That's the
So,
night secret. You just
the perception
vibe and
change is
go.
really cool though, because like on the ice level, like he turns to a sled at one point, and it's like a behind the camera Sonic 2 special stage all of a sudden.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
oh
then
my god. And then there's that one stage where you attach
mirrors.
to like the cart and it's like you're sliding down this tube and
Yeah.
it's literally the Sonic 2 bonus stage. Like, oh my god, I'm collecting rings. You
Yeah,
go
and
left
Stick
and right on
Canyon.
this fucking tube.
Yeah, Stick
It's
Canyon, you
yes,
go on the
that
rail.
was it. It's literally like you can't tell me the Sonic is not here.
I can't tell you how many times I played that stage and I would be on that part where I'm pinned against the metal part and it's moving, and then like the timer runs out. It's such a
Oh my
long
god,
stage,
yeah.
and then you
Damn.
just get yeeted off the thing. Like,
That's what's so satisfying. It's like you have to make that like quick mental judgment in your head. Like, can I speed through the stage, get a few more orbs? Like this fourth section is going to take me at least 30 seconds. Then I got to get through this part. And like, you have to make these little trade-offs as like you're perfecting your lines and stuff.
yeah, because
It
it
was
does.
wild. I had a buzzer beater one time, like it was like 0 seconds left. I'm like flying back to the point. I think I detransform
Yeah.
and fling into the point and get an F rank for it.
Oh,
But
I
like
like
I didn't even see the detransformation.
it yeeted you through it. I did that last night. But even when you get a real good score and you go,
Athena.
yeah, Diva. Well, when you go through that little pedestal and you get a good score, like Knights and the child like split apart for a second and they lock like elbows and they spin around together and then fuse back together. It's just such a cool little like
It's such a good homie
animation.
moment.
It's so cool. But yeah, like I could just gush and gush and gush about this game forever. But we're getting to the top of the hour, and
Mhm.
I just, if you can find it, download an emulator, download an ISO, send a letter to
Soak this guy
Sega
in.
to
Like, just
remaster it.
play some levels. Yeah, put that energy out there. Just try to signal boost this game. It's worth it. Go through it, get some high scores. Don't get some high scores. Just explore through the levels. You don't need to get the high score. Just
Play.
play it like a campaign
And I
game
don't mean play it like,
experience it.
yeah, don't play it like a game. Play it like you're a child. Like the literal word play.
Straight up,
Just
get
have
lost
fun
in it.
and play. That's all it asks of you.
There was a quote recently, or rather an interview by Kojima, topically enough. He was being asked about like, well, what do you value in a game? Like what makes a game a masterpiece? And he's like, well, when you have a tool to a player and you give it to them and they solve whatever they need to solve with it, and then they can use the tool and say, well, what else can I use this for? And then they try it and then it works. That's kind of the feeling here. Like you're just like, oh, I see this over here. Let me go try poking this thing. Let me go catch this egg. Let me go fly through these rings. It's just like it's totally your world to play with. Yeah, just play with it like a kid.
Absolutely.
You don't need to rush. Any good score is just through careful planning, really. Don't get motion sick like I did.
Yeah, take some Dramamine or something. But yeah, I mean that again. I have to step back because I could just keep going. This is a crucial game to who I am. I love it. I've been living it and breathing it in my heart since
Yeah,
it
like
came out.
if you're into dreams, if you're into like Jungian, if you're into Lynch, like oh my god, if
Yeah.
you're into Lynch,
Ooh, that
just,
mystic
like,
forest, like
yeah,
just,
if you know you're into this stuff, you know it's
if you
that
like
same
good
kind of realm.
music, if you like the Chow Garden, there's just so many aspects like to just dive into this game. Like
If
if
you
you like
like just like
color and
time
great art
attacks,
design, like it's all here in spades.
mhm.
And we didn't even touch on the bosses. Each boss is super, super unique and fun and like a genuine joy and reward to play. Like,
This whole Dark Carnival vibe, like this whole like half Tim Burton vibe during the boss stages, especially as well.
yeah, and there's Riala, who's like the Dark Knight. If when you beat them in the boss battle, you unlock a battle mode that's 2 players on the Saturn, and you and your friend can just power loop each other. It's so cool. There's so much to it. Like
It's just so responsive. Like this is the Smash Melee of flying around games. It's you feel so much instant control and like your loops are on point. There is no delay. Everything is just it's hard to describe how satisfying and good this feels to play. You got to play it.
absolutely. And with that, I say GG's and until next time. May the
Dream
night
on.
dream. Yeah, may the nights be with you. Later.
Later.